I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? We're going to get into Smackdown for May the 8th, 2026. This was a very boring and lackluster show. However, I had a little bit of fun with the closing segment. Everything else on the show I didn't really too much care about. It is what it is. However, I also enjoyed Tiffany Stratton versus Kiana James. I thought that was fun. I like that. But this just was not a good show, man. On the eve of Backlash, this SmackDown was not it. It wasn't it. So it is what it is. But I mean, SmackDown is easily the worst wrestling show of the week. And a close number 2 would be Dynamite. So there's that. There are some things that I can tolerate on Dynamite, but SmackDown, nah. I don't have too much patience for SmackDown. And I mean, it has been awful for about close to 2 years. Like, SmackDown hasn't really been all that good since 2024. Right? Other than that, SmackDown has been bad, you know. So, whatever. Like, SmackDown was good in 2022 and 2023 and in 2024, but for the past 2 years, especially last year, it was awful, and this year is following in the footsteps of last year. So, whatever. So we kicked the show off with a tribute to Ted Turner. They had a In Loving memory graphic, which was good. I like that, so that's good. Moving on from that, we kicked the show off with Jacob Fatu. So he said that he's taking the title at Backlash. He got a really good reaction. He said that since they were young, everyone said Roman Reigns was the future, and no one in his family thought he was going to amount to anything. Jacob said, now Roman wants him to fall in line. He said, hell nah. He said that Roman was born with opportunity, whereas when he was born with doubt. So the Usos show up. They get in the ring. Jimmy said they're out there to change his mind. Jimmy said nothing they can say can change anything at Backlash. Jimmy said part of him is rooting for him, but another part of him is rooting for Roman. Jimmy asked if he's considered what happens if he loses. Jay says he didn't think, Jacob didn't think about that because he doesn't think like that. I'm like, damn, way to call him dumb. But I mean, not really though. Jay looked at Jacob Fatu and said, tomorrow night the Tribal Chief's going to beat that ass. Pause. Jay said the worst part is he's going to break him down emotionally and physically right in front of his family. Jimmy said that Jacob's family will be watching from the front row. Jimmy said when he loses, his wife and children will acknowledge the tribal chief. So Jacob Fatu said he ain't losing and he can't lose. Jacob told the Usos that, Jacob told Jay that he never beat Roman. Flashback. I like that. So Jimmy half-heartedly pushed Jay back. Jacob says this isn't just the main event. It's for his family. Jacob said that there's one thing his family will see him doing, and that's becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. So I do like that. Good stuff there. And then he threatened the Usos. He said if they get involved, he's going to burn this whole goddamn tree to the ground. Film a tree to the ground. I like that. So good stuff there. This was okay. This is fine. Again, this is one of the matches I'm interested in at Backlash. And I'm interested in seeing how Roman will retain. I really am. And are we going to see Zilla Fatu show up? I think he will. There's a possibility he will. And if he does, I think that'd be tremendous. Because, again, you want to continue the Roman Jacob feud at least up until July at least. That's what I would do. Because you want to have this feud be at least a good 2-3 months. At least. Even though we know Roman's not going to be there in June, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is. All right, moving on from that. This leads us into Nick Aldis. He was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly. So she wanted to know why Gunther's on Smackdown, since technically he's still a member of the Raw roster. Nick Aldis said that Gunther, that what he did last week was unacceptable. So Ricky Stench walked in and said he had a great debut after going toe-to-toe with Cody Rhodes. So Matt Cardona showed up, and he confronted Ricky and said that he's not going to pass the torch to guys like him, but he's there to light a new one for himself. And so Ricky looks at Nick Aldis and asks if that's how he runs the place. So that's fine. This makes sense. It is what it is. Ricky being put in the mid-card is fine. I mean, what else can you do with him? Really and truthfully, there's nothing else you can do with him right at this point in time. Again, I kind of wish that you could have Cody and Ricky feud over the WWE champion. The WWE Undisputed Championship for a little bit, but we know that's not going to happen. So, oh well, who gives a damn? Really, at the end of the day. Moving on. This leads us into Nick Aldis. He wishes Jacob Fatu luck. So the camera followed Jacob Fatu to the back. He meets with Royce Keys. Royce Keys asked Jacob Fatu since when has he ever shown fear towards anyone who breathes the same breath as who breathes the same air as him. Royce Keys said people like them take everything they want. So then they dap up and walk away. Then as Royce Keys is about to walk away, he's confronted by So.o. No. He told So.o that he should beat his ass. Pause. So his next words better be as cool as a criminal. As smooth as a criminal. So.o said he needs an answer soon because his time is running out. Talking about, he wants to know if Royce Keys will join his family. What the hell, man? Fuck this shit. This is so dumb. This is retarded. Why? Why must we have Royce Keys feuding with So.o Sikoa? It's dumb. It makes no sense. I mean, we get it. We know they all have history. But it is what it is. Who gives a damn? Moving on. This leads us into the first match of the night. Tiffany Stratton defeats Kiana James to retain the women's United States Championship. This match was actually quite fun. I love the handspring stunner that Tiffany does. It's beautiful. That should be her second finisher. It really should. That should put away matches. It's a thing of beauty. It's great. So apparently there was some miscommunication towards the end of the match. So there's that. It is what it is, honestly. Before the match took place, Chelsea Green, she was on screen. She said she had a procedure that has her on the men. And then they showed us a clip of Chelsea wishing Tiffany the best of luck. And she said she's bedridden. She can't be there. So that's fine. I like that. She says if Tiffany wins, they'll go out for martinis. Okay. I like that. So we wish Chelsea Green all the best. And hopefully she'll be back on SmackDown in the next couple of weeks. But this match was fun. I really enjoyed this. It was short, though. It should have went at least a good 10 to 15 minutes, but it didn't happen. So it is what it is. But, Kiana James is very good. Same thing with Tiffany Stratton. I believe they may have faced in NXT once before, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look into it, but I believe they faced once before. However, there was miscommunication between Julia and Kiana James, and Kiana James lost. So it is what it is. Julia got on the ring apron. Kiana James ended up rolling up Tiffany Stratton. The referee was distracted by Julia. And then Julia and Kiana James started arguing briefly. Then Tiffany ended up hitting the thing that Mr. Kennedy used to do, the rolling senton. She hit that, and she hit the prettiest moonsault ever, 1, 2, 3. So, cool. I'm glad. Good stuff. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Gingerbread Man stuff. So, we go to the visitation segment of the Gingerbread Man. So Sami Zayn asked Nick Aldis, how can he let this happen? Nick Aldis says, everyone there just needs some closure. R-Truth came up behind Sami Zayn and handed him a rose. He said that he could see a family resemblance. R-Truth told Sami to be strong, and then he blew a kiss to the Gingerbread Man and Sami Zayn. Pretty funny stuff there. I like that. Moving on, this leads us into Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They were interviewed by Kathy Kelly backstage. Rhea said she can't wait to show Fatal Influence who they choose to mess with. So Charlotte Flair tried to be a team player, but did so in a way that aggravated Rhea Ripley. So Alexa Bliss ended up playing the Peacemaker, and they both continued to argue back and forth. So it is what it is. Who cares about this? Moving on, R-Truth is backstage with Damian Priest. Damian Priest told R-Truth to... Damian Priest told R-Truth that he's focused on making Tala Tonga pay a price. And he asked R-Truth to stand in the back so he can take care of it himself. And he told R-Truth to trust him and that he knows how to handle this situation due to his Judgment Day. His time in the Judgment Day. Okay, whatever. Moving on, Tala Tonga defeats Damian Priest via interference. So R-Truth came out to make the save. He ended up getting beat up. Then this allowed for Tala Tonga to hit the choke slam, 1, 2, 3. I didn't even watch this match at all. I'm not gonna hold you up. I don't give a damn about it because Tala Tonga, aka Hikuleo, sucks. So there's that. Whatever. So Royce Keys came out to make the save for both Damian Priest and R-Truth. And then Solo and his crew, they dipped out. Whatever. I don't care about this. Moving on. This leads us into Danhausen. He had a list of... he tried to get a list of people to sign up to be his tag team partner at Backlash. So The Miz and Kit Wilson, they walked up to him and laughed that he couldn't find a tag team partner. Kit Wilson was admiring himself in a mirror, which was funny, and then turned and told Danhausen that he's toxic. Miz said that... Danhausen says he's got friends such as Papa Shango and Curly Man and Bob over there. I'm like, okay. So Miz took satisfaction in Danhausen having to run away rather than disappearing. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Moving on. This leads us into Nick Aldis. He's talking to Paul Heyman. So, Nick Aldis told Paul Heyman everything is in order as they discussed. So Paul Heyman looked at the contract as Gunther walked in. So Paul Heyman handed Gunther the contract and said, as requested. Nick Aldis said that he's happy to have him on the blue brand, meaning Gunther, But what he did last week was unacceptable. Gunther asked if that's really how he wants to talk to his future world heavyweight champion. His future world champion. So, there's that. All right, moving on. This leads us into Cody Rhodes. He comes out, gets a good reaction. He's in Jacksonville, so AEW territory. Cody Rhodes said apparently Gunther attacking him last week was his way of saying that he's next. Cody said he wished Gunther would say it to his face. So Paul Heyman came out with a contract in hand. Instead, Cody asked, is he now an advocate for Gunther? Cody said they don't need a contract. They could wrestle in Jacksonville. Paul Heyman said that the contract's not for Jacksonville. It's not even for the U.S. It's going to be for a clash in Italy. Paul Heyman said that he's not Gunther's advocate, and the favor he owed Gunther was to set this up. He said Cody now has to get Gunther's name on a contract himself. So Cody told Paul Heyman, Cody told Paul Heyman that Brock Lesnar retired on him. Roman Reigns wants nothing to do with him. CM Punk wants nothing to do with him. Cody asked Paul Heyman if he's running out of options. Paul Heyman said that he wasn't the one running out of options because sooner or later they all need the wise man. So Paul Heyman left. Gunther tried to attack Cody from behind. Cody fought off Gunther and got out of the sleeper. And he kept punching Gunther in the head. So Cody told Gunther to keep coming at him. He said he didn't sweat him because he beat Goldberg, AJ Styles, and the greatest of all time, meaning John Cena. He said he's easy to find and hard to beat, and then that was it. I don't really care about this. I mean, this is fine, I guess. I can't remember when Clash in Italy is. So I think it's going to take place in Milan, Italy, which is cool. I'm not sure when Clash is, but I'll look into it. I think it's in June or July or something like that. I can't remember. It's in the summer for sure. So whatever. I mean, this is fine, I guess. I mean, is this important? No. But could it be this is where Cody loses? I mean, I know I don't want Gunther to be WWE Undisputed Champion, but I think it's going to happen anyway at some point. So you might as well go ahead and do it. I mean, I don't know. You might as well go ahead and just do it. It don't matter. But, I mean, to me, Gunther is just boring. I mean, I'm over the whole Gunther situation. I've been over Gunther for a minute, honestly. Moving on from that, this leads us into Ricky Saints versus Matt Cardona. Ricky Saints wins. He wins via the Rochambeau. I didn't watch this match either, so it is what it is. Who really cares? Ricky winning is fine. I kind of like what they're doing with Ricky. So, there's that. I'm wondering, where is Carmelo Hayes? We haven't seen Carmelo Hayes in about 3 to 4 weeks. Where is he at? Is he injured? Where is he at? Because that's not good. Carmelo Hayes needs to be on this show. I would love for there to be a feud between Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes. You can feud them for at least a good 2-3 months for a while. I think that would be fun. Moving on. This leads us into Sami Zayn. He was at the funeral, running to somebody about how he wants to do things the right way. So the camera revealed that it was Johnny Gargano. But Gargano was out of it. He's been doing that same shtick for like the last 3 months. Who gives a damn? He asked if Johnny Wrestling is still in there. So Johnny set up and nodded, then laid back down. Candice LeRae showed up, whatever. Then Sammy asked Ray Phoenix what was he doing there, and Ray told Sammy now isn't the time, and then Johnny Gargano set up and said Phoenix was right, and then dropped back down. So there's that. Okay, that's fine there, whatever. Who cares about this? Moving on, this leads us into Paige and Brie Bella. They're walking backstage. So a ladder fell over behind them, and then Danhausen ran past them, and then knocked Brie on her head. And Brie held her head in pain and wondered if Paige yanked on her hair. Okay, all right, that's fine, whatever. Moving on, we get a Mariah May vignette, which is great. She was applying makeup and said she can take everything they love and make it hers. And then she laughed. So I like that. So she's coming soon, so she should be there in the next couple of weeks, which is great. She'll be tremendous on SmackDown. So yeah. And then maybe Mariah May is going to be the one to defeat Tiffany Stratton for the Women's U.S. Championship. I think that should happen. I really do. Moving on from that, this leads us into what else was on this boring show, basically. Okay, we get another Gingerbread Man vignette. He's at the wedding of Elizabeth and Randy Savage, the DX invasion of Raw, and Brock Lesnar pinning The Undertaker behind the wide-eye view fan in the front row. I laughed at this. I really did. This was good. This was hilarious. This was good. Moving on, this leads us into Fatal Influence. They defeated Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill is back, so she ended up getting involved towards the end of the match, attacking Rhea. They're pushing Fatal Influence hard, which is what I like. They're giving them a real good push. For them to be on the roster for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. This is good. I like what they're doing with them. And this is great. So post-match, B-Fab, Jade Cargill, and Michin, a.k.a. Mia Yim, showed up and they beat up the baby faces. Okay, that's fine. Good shit there, I guess. So I guess they're still going to be doing Rhea and Jade too at some point, which is fine. All right, moving on. This leads us into the Usos. They approached Royce Keys backstage. Jimmy said they saw him interacting with Solo earlier. Jay said he knows Royce Keys has ties to the family going way back, but he needs to stay in his lane or he might catch the eyes of the tribal chief. Okay, that's fine there. All right, good shit there. Moving on. Royce Keys defeats Tama Tonga. Didn't watch this either, so whatever. All right. Moving on, this leads us into Danhausen. He was shown backstage doing chemistry stuff, which included a microwave malfunctioning and lights flashing and smoke and fog coming out of a pipe. He said he planned to take the world over at Backlash. And then he typed into an old PC. Nice. Pretty good stuff there. Okay. Moving on. This leads us into Tama Tonga. He was removing his gear. And Shinsuke Nakamura showed up, who said he was disappointed in him. So Tala, he walked in and warned Nakamura to stay away from his brother. And then Nakamura laughed and walked away. What are they doing? This makes no sense. All right, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into the closing segment of the evening, which was the Gingerbread Man funeral. So it was a open casket. So Trick came out and got a really good reaction. He wore a black mink all throughout the night, which was probably pretty expensive. Probably a good 30 to 40K. Trick said that everyone would have to bear with him, and he hoped to get through it. So, dramatic music began to play as Trick spoke about the gingerbread man, saying that he never thought he'd see him dead. So, background singers, they were swaying in the ring, and they supported Trick's messages and memories. Can somebody tell Trick Williams why? Can somebody tell him why? Why did the gingerbread man have to die? Which was pretty hilarious. I'm like, damn. So fans, they waved their cameras back and forth, their camera lights back and forth, which was pretty cool. Then we got a really good video montage of the gingerbread man. It talked about how he came fresh out of the oven as a cookie tray with his parents looking proudly at him, which was hilarious. Then it showed him growing up, including partying at college, playing football, hanging out with Trick Williams, water skiing, going to a gentleman's club, riding roller coasters, and a bunch of other adventures, which was hilarious. all AI generated stuff, but it was hilarious as fuck, man. This was good. I legitimately laughed at all this. This was hilarious. This was fucking hilarious. Like, this was the only entertaining thing on this show. So Trick asked for a moment of silence for his friend. Then Sami Zayn interrupted. He was pissed off, saying that, are you serious? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. He said that Trick Williams only has been in WWE for a cup of coffee, but TV time on SmackDown used to mean something. And there was prestige in being in the final segment or holding the U.S. title. He asked Trick if he's making a joke out of him. He counted damn near 1,000 roses. That wasn't cheap. He said the choir was expensive, and he said they were off key, which is true. I do agree with that. They were definitely off key. So Sami got into the ring and asked if he spent all that money to make a joke out of him. He said he has too much respect for him, for himself to let the end the show to let that happen. He said that he's a working class hero and he represents the ride or die fans to the end. Sami said that some of the others thought they would knock him off his game and he's not going anywhere. He said Trick wanted to get into his head, get in his head. He hates to break it to him, but he did. He hates. He gave it to him, but he did. He said Trick played himself, though. He's gonna make a joke out of him and expose him and disrespect him 1,000 times worse than he ever did him. He said that he seen him at Backlash, and then he attempted to leave. So Sami Zayn ended up attacking Trick. They brawled briefly. So Sami Zayn then grabbed the U.S. title and said, this is his life. Then the gingerbread man set up. He's back. He came reanimated. He's back to life. And it was actually Lil Yachty, which was cool. So Lil Yachty beat up Sami Zayn with a candy cane, which was hilarious. And then he laughed profusely, which was cool. Then Trick Williams gave Sami Zayn a trick shot, and that was how we went off the air. So this is fine. I like this. It's pretty cool. I'm glad that Lil Yachty is back. Apparently he's going to take this serious, so I'm down with it. So this was okay. Again, I like this. This was pretty funny, in my opinion, because this show is lackluster. So this is the only thing that made this show entertaining. Everything else on the show was kind of boring. I did like the match between Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton, but it was just a little bit too short for my liking. If they would have gone a good 15 minutes, that would have been great. I would love that a lot more. I do like the interaction between Fatu and Royce Keys. I like that. So, there's that. Danhausen is fine. Comedy and wrestling is great. So, good stuff. Everything else on the show just didn't really give a fuck about. But it is what it is. But what did you guys think of SmackDown? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.